Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing and digital agency. And we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. Plus, we bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business when we interview the top business leaders in the industry. I'm very excited today because we have with us, we're gaining some business empowerment with Master Prosperity Coach Joel Salomon, and he is the author of Infinite Love and Money and the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use, which I could definitely learn a little bit about that. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming to the show today.
Thanks so much for having me, Ray. It's a real pleasure and honor to be here, so thank you.
Well, same here, Joel. Thank you so much. So I guess before we get into things, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, most importantly, I am a dad to 2 incredible, amazing, courageous, beautiful, caring, thoughtful daughters. My daughter, Lauren, turns 19 tomorrow. She's at Syracuse University.
Oh, happy birthday.
And Morgan turns 17 on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And my company name, by the way, is Salomon, S-A-L-A-U-R-M-O-R, named after Lauren and Morgan. So L-A-U-R for Lauren, M-O-R for Morgan.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah. I'm in your world because I have 3 daughters. Overrunning the household, I'm outnumbered as you are.
Yeah, so for me, that's the most important. In terms of my professional life, I started my career as an actuary. And you made, though, the difference between an actuary and an accountant.
Yeah, what is the difference?
An actuary looks at his feet when he talks to you. An accountant looks at your feet when they talk to you.
Oh, okay.
That was a joke. You can laugh if you want to. They say an accountant is an actuary with charisma. Mm-hmm. That was a joke, too. You could laugh again if you want. So I started my career as an actuary, which an actuary, to be honest with you, they calculate the premiums you have to pay for your insurance policy, be it home or auto or life insurance or disability health insurance.
Right.
I did that for about 7 years, but I didn't love my job. In fact, I really enjoyed my evenings and weekends.
Yeah.
When I was analyzing and investing in stocks.
Oh, okay.
And I said to myself, if I could ever align my hobby and my career, then I would be having fun during the day and not having so much fun. Mm-hmm. And so I went on a journey to doing that. It took me 15 years, but eventually I became a hedge fund manager at Citi. First managing a $300 million long-short stock portfolio, and eventually managing a $700 million long-short stock portfolio and bond portfolio for them, before my whole division was laid off, which actually gave me the kick in the butt to do what I really wanted to do, was have my own company managing stocks, a hedge fund. It was called Salomon Capital, and I shut it down in order to do this. And if you want, we can go into the reasons why I shut down my hedge fund to be a prosperity coach. But now I am teaching people not only about investing in stocks or real estate or whatever they're interested in, but also how to manifest money and how to change their money mindset from how I grew up.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And how I grew up was, you can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's too expensive. And I even got yelled at by my dad if I left the light on in my room and we left the house. Joel, we're not a shareholder of Long Island Lighting Company. Shut that light off. So I teach people.
Relate.
Yeah. Right. So I teach people the opposite. I teach people how to live in abundance and prosperity rather than lack and fear and worry.
So that was one of my questions. I was wondering, well, what exactly is a master prosperity coach? So that's what that is. That's somebody who teaches you to live with abundance and
prosperity. Yeah, it's a great question. So what do I do, actually? What I'm really focused on is helping emerging entrepreneurs to generate, who are not yet generating significant income, and by that I mean at least $20,000 a month, generate at least that. And how do I do that? Well, we use proven techniques that have worked for some of my other clients, and my other clients, in total, one-on-one coaching clients, have generated over $2.5 million so far in the last few years. And so we teach the proven techniques and for these emerging entrepreneurs. Now, if you're not an entrepreneur and you just want to learn about investing or how to manifest money, I teach people that too. And I believe that everyone has the ability and should be thriving on this earth. We came here to thrive, not just survive.
Yes, I would agree. Now, what sets you apart from other folks who, there's a lot of folks out there who claim, if you follow my system, you can make this work. Like you hear about rich dad, poor dad, like all those types of things. But what differentiates you in the work that you do?
So, first of all, I am not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. All I do is teach. So I teach how to change the mindset. And there are money mindset coaches out there. And there are people who teach manifesting, but I don't think there are people who teach investing who have invested $700 million and teach mindset and teach manifesting. So, and again, I'm not a financial planner. I don't sell any products. Well, I do. I sell some books. But besides the books, I don't sell insurance or annuities or mutual funds or any stocks or bonds or commodities. All I do is teach. So I don't have a conflict of interest like some others may. I'm just teaching and educating. And I fully believe so my second book is the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use, as you mentioned. And rule number 8 is DIY investing. So I teach how everyone has the ability to do it themselves. And all you need is a 5th grade education in math. If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you can be an amazing investor.
Okay, well, I can do that. And I got to be honest with you. I don't know about you, Donyshia. It really, I'm a financial services person. Like I'm a banker, but I do find the market very intimidating.
This is very interesting. Joel, I feel like you're the modern day Warren Buffett. I'm very excited to meet you. I feel like I'm already a millionaire and on my way to being a billionaire.
Absolutely. And it's attainable for everyone. And that I fully believe that if you follow the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use, you can become wealthy. And look, a lot of us were brought up, investments, icky, ew, like I don't understand them. How can I do this? And I'll just tell you, it's rule number 1 you have to overcome, which is when you believe. And we all have these limiting beliefs. I don't have the time. I don't know math well enough. You don't need an MBA in finance, right? You can trust your intuition, which is rule number 2, by the way. So rule number 1, when you believe. Rule number 2, trust your intuition. And when you use your intuition, it's powerful. It's your higher self giving you guidance. And I'm pretty sure there's no financial planner or financial advisor out there that will tell you to trust your intuition when it comes to investing. But I will, because I know as a former hedge fund manager, if I didn't trust my intuition, I either lost money or I made less money.
Well, I think every single woman in the world should be millionaires because we have that womanly intuition. So.
And then you second guess yourself.
And then we do.
And I know, because I'll just tell you one story. Thursday mornings, I used to take my daughters to school when they were a little bit younger. And now they both have driver's license. I mentioned earlier they're 19 and 17 this week. 19 tomorrow, Lauren. So when they were younger, I used to drive them to school, and we had options. We could take the local roads. We could hitchhike. Just kidding. Or we could go highway.
Right.
So normally my intuition would tell me to take the highway. But there was one particular morning we got about to the entrance ramp, and the highway was all backed up with traffic. But my intellect was telling me to go local. But my intuition was telling me to still go highway. So what did I do?
Go highway.
I listened to my intellect instead of my intuition, and I went local. And immediately, my stomach's in knots. I hear the sirens. And because I didn't trust my intuition, it cost me a $150 speeding ticket.
Oh.
And to this day, my daughters tease me and call me Speedy Pants.
I love it. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Master Prosperity Coach and author Joel Salomon.
Now, Joel, you have a lot of tips. You know, you gave the when you believe, use your intuition. How do you impact your clients and get them on the same mindset that you have?
That's a great question, Donyshia. So there are affirmations I teach, and it's not that easy, right? If you're saying an affirmation that you don't believe, it's not helping you. If you say, I am financially free, and I know a lot of people who teach mindset will tell you to say things you don't believe in. That can work, but it's going to take a really freaking long time. So you want to say things that you believe. So you soften it. I'm on my way to becoming financially free. I allow myself to become financially free. So the most important things about affirmations is rule number 1, when you believe. So do you believe what you're saying? If you don't say it. Or you can say it 1,000 times a day for a year or 2 or 3, and then it will work. But I'd rather have you say things that you believe in. So I have my clients write down the level of belief and the level of desire for those statements. And if they're not a 7, 8, 9, or 10, don't go there, because this is what's going to be happening. Nothing. So affirmations, self-talk audio files, I have free ones on my website, solomon.com. In the manifesting drop-down under programs, you can get free self-talk audio files on selling, on solving problems, on organization, taking responsibility. And those help you to change your mindset. I also teach acting as if. Have you heard about
Tell us a little bit more about that. I love to hear.
So acting as if is when you act as if what you want to happen has already happened. You want the new blue convertible Maserati Gran Turismo that goes from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, semi-autonomous, 454 horsepower, convertible. And so there's things you can do to act as if you already have it.
Joel, how did you know?
Go test drive it.
Okay.
Go online, check out prices, right? Act as if it's coming. Or you can act as if beyond the event, it's already in the garage by planning that trip that's 180 miles away that you're going to be able to get to in 2 hours, because you can go 90 miles an hour. Don't tell the policemen coming in next on the show.
Yeah.
But
all right, Speedy Pants.
right. So act as if. So you could do a visualization. I teach visualization is rule number 4 in the 9 Money Rules, by the way. We can get to that next. But you can visualize yourself being in the car with your daughters, Lauren and Morgan, who hair are blowing really fast in the wind because you're going 90. And they're like, Dad, when can I drive? When can I drive? You know, like, you've been driving for an hour already. I don't want to get in behind the wheel. And so you could do a visualization like this, acting as if it's already happened. You're driving to a place where you're celebrating because you were able to manifest this $150,000 car, of course. So you're celebrating that. So there's 2 ways to act as if. And I'll give you one specific example for something that happened in my life, which was my hedge fund. So we talked about the fact that I had a hedge fund, but I didn't tell you the story leading up to it, which was in 2012, after I got laid off from Citi, I decided this is what I was going to do. So I reached out to a lot of companies that I knew, institutional investors, and I got 2 that orally agreed to give me money. I'm set, right? Give me a lot of money. And, millions and millions of dollars. So I hired my lawyer, my accountant, my auditor, my fund administrator. I got a broker, and I moved into prime real estate space on 54th and Madison Avenue in Manhattan. I felt like I'd arrived.
Right.
Yeah.
December 10th, 2012, I call up both of those investors that had already agreed to give me money, and they both backed out.
Oof.
I had no pipeline.
Wow.
I just had expenses, massive expenses.
Right.
Real estate, prime real estate in New York.
You took a leap of faith with no contract, Joel.
You had
Right.
an oral contract.
Right. I had
Right.
an oral contract,
Right.
but I didn't have a written contract.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I could have given up, but I didn't tell you this was my dream for the last 20 years. In 1992, my dream was to be a hedge fund manager. So what did I do? I acted as if we already had the money. How? Well, I hired the analyst that I was going to hire. I told him, don't move into the office space because we had to pay for every seat. Stay at home. He worked from home before work from home was a thing, 10 years ago. And we went to conferences as if we already had the money. We called up the companies and did due diligence on them, asked them the tough questions as if we had the money. And I did something even more crazy. I put together a spreadsheet and calculated the portfolio performance. So I put in the spreadsheet all the stocks that we were betting were going to go up, all the stocks we were betting were going to go down, and then I calculated every day our performance. Sean, great day today. We made $1 million. Sean, terrible day. We got a rejig of the portfolio. We lost without actually having the money invested. Now, I also went out and banged on the phones and called everybody I knew and went to the cocktail parties and met as many people as I could to try to raise the money. Mm-hmm. But I was acting as if as well every day. And on January 25th, we had a good meeting, January 25th, 2013. And 60 days later, we had a written agreement with that institutional investor. And then 60 days after that, I was fully invested. And I will tell you to this day, I believe that because we acted as if we had the money, we got the money.
Nice.
Yeah, I do think there's something to that because I know there are certain things like milestones in my head that I've always had as a kid. I wanted to get married by the time I was 25. Wanted to have kids by the time I was 30. And you know, it's funny. Those few things that I visualized, I definitely want those things to happen. They happened. And they happened in the timing that I thought. So there is something to this.
Easy
I
from
like
a
this.
man, making those decisions.
So to continue answering your question, Donyshia, about I know this, how do I teach it to my clients? So it's affirmations, it's audio files, it's acting as if, it's visualizing. Now, visualizing is rule number 4, as I mentioned, in the 9 Money Rules. And there's a proper way to visualize. All of us have heard about visualization. But there's 6 important steps. If you don't do these, you're not doing it properly. One is to pick a time when you're going to do it. You want to be consistent. I do it right after I come back from my jog and after I do my affirmations and right after I journal. So pick a time. Pick a place. Don't do it in bed right after you wake up. You might fall back to sleep. And don't do it right before you're going to sleep. You will fall asleep. Pick the sofa. I do it in my living room. Pick the amount of time, 3 to 5 minutes. And the 4th step is to write down 3 dreams or desires be tactical, before you actually get into the visualization. Write down 3 dreams or desires that you're going to think about consciously. Step 5 may be the most important. It's from Wayne Dyer's book, Wishes Fulfilled. He said, make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So can you feel the feeling of being in the blue convertible Maserati, driving up 95 with your daughters before you actually are doing it?
Absolutely.
Feeling the feeling.
Absolutely, Joe.
Awesome.
I'm there with you.
And step 6, which I have a hard time with, is actually putting yourself in the picture. So having like an outer body experience, looking down from 1,000 feet or 100 feet and seeing yourself in the car, right? So that's step 6. Here's the bonus step. If you can visualize yourself, like we talked about earlier, beyond the event, you already have the car. It's not like you're doing the test drive, but you're already in the car. It's beyond the event. You're celebrating. You're going somewhere because you've manifested the car. That's a bonus.
I love this. What is Money Miracles? Because you talk about Money Miracles a little bit. What is Money Miracles?
So I have a membership called the Money Miracles membership, and basically I'm teaching a group of people who have signed up for my membership the concepts of the 9 money rules plus manifesting techniques to this group. And the Money Miracles membership I started in September of 2021, and members have manifested almost, let's say exactly, the number is $1,085,000 as of last night.
Oh, wow.
So now, should I explain what manifesting is? Because some people may not understand exactly what it is. So manifesting is when a money manifestation is when it comes in by surprise. So it's not like you're an entrepreneur and you've been working on closing this client for the last 3 months and the client comes in. So one example, I'll give you 2 examples, one from my membership and one from a one-on-one coaching client. So from the membership, a guy joined my he actually got laid off in July of last year. He joined my membership in August. And in September, we have question and answer calls twice a month. Now we went to once a week. And so he was on both of the calls. He actually lives in Texas. He happened to be in New York to move his brother-in-law. And so we met in person during those 3 weeks in September. And then right after we met, he was home and he got an email and a call from a lawyer who was telling him that a company he had worked at 25 years ago had been acquired in 2022. And unbeknownst to him, he had stock options. And the options vested and for cash. And the lawyer wanted to send him $320,000.
Cha-ching.
That is a money manifestation. Another one that even bigger, a one-on-one client. We talked about earlier. I teach money mindset. I teach manifesting techniques that have worked for me, worked for my clients, and I teach investing. So this particular client, I was teaching investing, and he learned my five-step proprietary stock screen, and he also learned some things that aren't in the book, advanced techniques that I taught him, like price targets for the stocks. And he found one in 2021, not the best year in the stock market, 2021, especially in the beginning of the year, but he found one in 2021, and it went up 150%, and he manifested $2 million. So I call that a manifestation because normally when you buy a stock, you're not expecting it to go up 150% in less than 6 months.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Master Prosperity Coach and author Joel Salomon. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about the work that you do?
I think it's a lot of people still think I'm a financial planner, financial advisor, or actually a wealth manager or money manager. I don't manage money. All I do is teach. So I want to be clear about that.
You're not Rupert Murdoch taking people's money.
No, I'm not. I'm no longer a hedge fund manager. I want my belief. So let me explain the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I went to a personal development course when I was a hedge fund manager, and there was a guest speaker It was a 3.5-day course, and there was a guest speaker speaking for an hour about stocks and options, stock options. And when he spoke about options in particular, he made it sound easy. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich, and options are essentially risk-free. I was sick to my stomach. I had people tapping me on the shoulder, whispering me, Joel, does this make sense? Are options really riskless? So after he was done, we went out of the auditorium. I told him, please don't do this. He doesn't know any of you individually. And most importantly, he doesn't know your belief that you could become rich using options. Now, what really hurt my gut was out of 200 people in the room, more than 60 ran to the back of the room to sign up for his course. And I knew in my heart that maybe 2 or 3 could become rich using options. It's probably around 1% of the population, if that. And I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. 3:30, 4 in the morning. The guy was in my head. And I realized if I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage in front of 200 people, see, my biggest fear in life that day was public speaking. If I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage, I could be authentic, not lie to them, and tell them the truth about money and be of service. 4:30 in the morning, I jumped out of bed, quickly got dressed. I was at my desk in Midtown Manhattan before the sun rose. I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose in life.
That is amazing. Now tell us, where can we find information about you and how can people contact you?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. So Salomon.com, SALAURMOR.com, again, named after my daughters, Lauren and Morgan. I got a lot of free stuff on there. If you sign up, by the way, for the pop-up shows a white paper called The 5 Mistakes New Millionaires Make. You'll get a free white paper if you sign up for my email list. Also, you can get a ton of information on all the social media. It's Joel Prosperity Salomon on Instagram, on TikTok, you name it, I'm there. I'm here to help. There's free reels, free videos every single day. You'll get a great money tip or a money mindset tip or even a manifesting tip.
We love it. Joel, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all your money tips.
My pleasure. It's been an honor and a deep pleasure. Thanks so much. Very grateful for being here.
Thank you. I'd like to leave you with DB's philosophy. Manifest your dreams into reality. Joel Salomon.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio as a podcast in iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC.